On the TV, on the radio, and even social media, everyone has become a debater. Hot heads, hot takes, and lots of hot air are now the norm. But only one can be the master debater. This is Master Debaters from News Talk 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
And I'm Dennis Foley. Welcome to Master Debaters, the show where the best argument wins. Joining us this week to debate their way to the top, our first debater can be heard every weekday with the latest sports news on Fox News Headlines 24/7 on SiriusXM Channel 115. Matt Napolitano. Hey, Matt.
How you doing, Dennis?
Pretty good. Just doing a show.
I know, I'm here.
Oh, well, welcome. Our next debater brings the heat every day on the Dana Cortez Show, heard on stations all across the country, including Energy 94.1 here in San Antonio. Dana Cortez. Hey, Dana.
Hello, Mr. Foley. How's it going?
Going pretty good. We're just doing a show. That's all we got going on right now. And our third debater this week can be heard on American Ground Radio every evening on Keel News Radio 710 Keel in Shreveport. Stephen Parr. Hey, Stephen.
Hi. I understand that you're doing well and you're about to do a show, so I won't ask.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Well, they are all going to be presenting arguments in an effort to try to win over our judge, who this week is Marissa from Long Island, New York. Hey, Marissa.
Hi. How's it going?
Oh, we're just doing a show.
Are you?
Yeah, well, I think so. I hope so. Well, her job is going to be to analyze and critique each response our contestants give to questions I present throughout the show. And along with asking the questions, I am the show's referee. So if I hear something that I don't like, may be worth a penalty, whatever, you'll hear this whistle. And yeah, so that's how that goes. So before we get started, let's give our contestants a chance to ask the judge a question to get to know her a little bit better. Let's start with Matt. Got a question for our judge?
I gotta ask, as a fellow Long Islander, are you representing Nassau or Suffolk County?
Suffolk County.
All right. So I'm on the opposition side, but please don't hold that against me.
And of course, everyone else is no one's going to have any idea what you're talking about. So Dana, do you have a question for Marissa?
So, as a fellow woman, are you representing women or men?
Oh, I guess women. I mean, I feel like it's a trick question. I'm going to say women.
And
I love you, my sister. Go ahead, whoever's next.
Steven, you got a question for Marissa?
I do. It's full of strategery. If you were stranded on a desert island and you only had one television show that you could watch for eternity, what would that show be?
Oh, The Real Housewives.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
All right, let's get the game going.
Opening arguments on Master Debaters.
So each combatant will get one question. That's how the show works. That combatant answers the question, and our judge Marissa will give them a score between 0 and 10 points. They will have 30 seconds for their argument, and a buzzer will let them know when that time is up. We're going to start with Matt. So, baseball sign-stealing scandal is back in the spotlight.
Former Houston Astros general manager Jeff Luhnow has filed a breach of contract lawsuit against the team, seeking more than $22 million in salary owed under his agreement. Luhnow was fired in January for a sign-stealing scandal after an investigation by Major League Baseball. The suit filed in Harris County District Court in Houston claims Luhnow did not know a camera was being used to steal signs during the team's path to the 2017 World Series title. Lisa Mateo, CBS News.
So, Matt, does he have a case? 30 seconds.
I think he absolutely does have a case. The fact of the matter is Major League Baseball, a swing and a miss entirely on handing out punishments in regards to this. Yes, you gave the year-long suspension to Jeff Luhnow as well as to A.J. Hinch, but guess who just got rehired elsewhere? A.J. Hinch. He's going to be the new manager of the Detroit Tigers. Alex Cora also implicated in that sign-stealing scandal as bench coach for Houston. He's coming back to manage the Boston Red Sox after a year away. It's outright ridiculous. Jeff Luhnow was definitely the fall guy in the situation. There's plenty of other employees within the Astros organization who deserve to get the chop and did not. He is right to sue and get that money that he deserves.
So, Marissa, points 0 to 10 for that.
Well, I'm going to go with a 10 because I really don't know what they were talking about, to be honest. So it just sounded good to me. So he's going to get a 10.
Okay. Well, Dana, you've probably said it at least once over the past few days. The Collins Dictionary has named lockdown as its word of the year for 2020.
Lockdown.
It's the word on everybody's lips across the globe. The Collins Dictionary registered over 250,000 usages of the word lockdown during this year, up from a mere 4,000 last year. The dictionary said it added the term because it encapsulates the shared experience of billions of people. Other words in their top 10 include social distancing, key worker, and furlough. Elaine Cobb, CBS News.
Now, in some of those cases, those are actually 2 words, but forget about that. Dana, is lockdown the word of the year, or is there a better word of the year? 30 seconds.
I think lockdown is definitely one of the biggest words of the year, but I would have to challenge that with the word WAP as well, because WAP could mean many things. If you're a Cardi B fan, you know that I can't say that on this podcast because Mr. Foley runs a tight ship. But it could also mean women are powerful. It could mean many things. WAP, I think, supersedes the word lockdown because lockdown can be negative and we can take WAP and make it a positive. We're sick of lockdown. We don't want to hear it anymore. I'm done with it. So social distance, wear your mask and wash your hands, but don't worry about lockdown.
And yes, I do run a tight ship. Marissa, how many points do you want to give out for that?
I'm going to go with, can I do like a 0.5 or it has to be a full number?
Full numbers make it easier for my, caveman math.
Okay. So I'm going to do, then I'll do an 8. I'll round it up a little bit. I think that, I agree with that. I mean, a little, to an extent, I mean, lockdown is a lockdown, but I'm kind of sick of hearing the word too.
All right. Next question. Who is more at risk for loneliness?
If you're feeling alone, it might have something to do with your age. California researchers found levels of loneliness are highest in a person's 20s due to stress over finding a partner and excelling in one's career. There was also a spike for people in their 40s as they began to experience health issues. People in their 60s reported the least amount of loneliness.
That's correspondent Laura Podesta. Stephen, are you buying that? 30 seconds.
I'm not sure I buy the spike in the mid 40s. I think the loneliness aspect that's registering in the 20s, that's probably more about an anxiety type of a thing. I mean, you still have friends from high school. You're starting to lose some of those in your mid 20s, but you're gaining new friends from college, new friends from work. It's probably more of an anxiety issue as you're getting into your 20s. You start thinking, what am I doing with my life? That starts to creep in. And so maybe that's what's registering rather than loneliness. But I do agree that as you get older, life gets better.
Marissa, how many points do you want to give out for that?
9. I completely agree with that.
All right.
But I can't give a 10 because I feel like I already gave a 10.
Well,
I don't know what I'm allowed to do. I don't know.
Well, we'll debate much more next on Master Debaters from KTSA.
This is Master Debaters, the show where the best argument wins.
Yes, and the debate is just beginning. We have Matt Napolitano, Dana Cortez, and Stephen Parr this week competing to convince our judge Marissa that their argument is the best argument. And if you want to be a judge on a future edition of Master Debaters, head over to our website, ktsa.com/masterdebaters, and enter to be our next points dealer. Let's keep this debate going.
For argument's sake, on Master Debaters.
So I'm going to give all 3 contestants the same question, and they will each take a turn presenting their argument on that topic. After they all take their 30 seconds to respond, our judge will then give them each points between 0 and 10 for their responses. The first topic, an old hit, has made a fast comeback.
Miley Cyrus' 2009 tune is back on iTunes' Top 200 list in the U.S. thanks to Joe Biden's victory. Party in the USA has also jumped to number 98 on Spotify's streaming chart. It served as the soundtrack for Democrats partying from Brooklyn to Beverly Hills since Saturday. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
So we're going to start with Matt. What decade-old song would you like to have back on the charts again? 30 seconds.
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I thought you were going to say, how do I feel about Party in the USA as an anthem? Oh, God, now I got to think about this. If I'm going back, I remember hosting a top 40 show on college radio back in the day at Hofstra University, and I used to love playing Good Girls Go Bad. Cobra Starship, Leighton Meester. I really want to just go scrap in the barrel here. So I'll go with that as my throwback. I was also at the height of the Lady Gaga awakening of when she started to surface. So I guess I got to throw Poker Face up in there or something. But I think it's awesome that Party in the USA is back on the charts. I actually love that song. I sang that drunkenly several times.
Dana, 30 seconds.
So I got to one up you on some facts here. So Party in the USA is back on the charts, but even higher on the charts is F Donald Trump by YG. And personally, I think the YG rap song is a lot better. You saw it played on the side of the road at many a Trump rally. You've heard it played on hip hop stations all over the country. And if there's one thing I know, about 79 million people agree that YG F Donald Trump is the far superior track, and the charts don't lie. So let's get that back in hard rotation. Even country music should have a remix.
And Steven, 30 seconds.
I gotta say, anything by the Killers. I mean, that band, that was a great name for the band. They were killer. Every song they put out, time after time, it was just hitting the top of the charts. I know they've got a new one back in the charts now, so it's great to have them back. But I also love listening to their old stuff that somehow snuck away about a decade ago. And I finished early. That's efficiency.
Something about the Killers, though. Absolutely.
All right, Marissa, what points do you want to give out to all of our debaters?
All right, so I'm going to give Matt a 6. I'm going to give Dana a 2, and Steven is going to get a 4.
All right, next topic. A woman went this far to get some free food from her favorite fast food joint.
Police in Georgia say Kimberly Ragsdale posed as an FBI agent just so she could get a free meal from Chick-fil-A. It happened last week at a restaurant outside Atlanta. An employee called 911 saying a woman in a white van was identifying themselves as a federal agent to try and get free food. The 47-year-old was approached by police and even told them she was an agent, but did not have credentials on her. After being handcuffed, police say Ragsdale even began talking into her shirt as if it was a radio, asking for backup. Matt Piper, CBS News.
So, Dana, what's your limit on how far you would go to get some free food from your favorite fast food place? 30 seconds.
Pull in and just ask the person and beg them, tell them that my children were hungry. I'd had a long day at work and I needed something. Maybe I forgot my purse. I'll come back home and get it. And I would probably end up doing that because that's the kind of person I am. I'm not leaving somebody working minimum wage with the bill. I grab the food, come feed my kids, go back and pay them, and then maybe give them a big tip on top of that and pay for the person behind me as well. Because I love fast food, and if they're in a long line, like we're probably in, they probably deserve it as well.
Steven, 30 seconds. How far would you go for your favorite fast food?
I would definitely stop long before we get to felony level, impersonating an officer for free food. Well, I guess she's going to get some free food in jail now. But look, if you really need it, ask. A lot of folks are very charitable. If you really need some free food in this moment, go ahead and explain your situation. Ask if you can work it off. Ask if you can do some help around. People are very generous. They will help out.
And Matt, 30 seconds.
Well, I'll give a funny story to this. This is about, I want to say 8 or 9 years ago. I was at a Chipotle and I got free chips and guac because the cashier thought I was one of the boyfriends from the show Teen Mom 2 on MTV. I did not correct her. I took my chips and my guac and looked up who this person was and then was a little offended. That being said, it's also a Chick-fil-A that this person was in. So I figured that Steven's onto something. There's hospitality at Chick-fil-A. They would have given her a whole meal as an act of kindness. Those people are always smiling and so happy every time you go in there willing to refill your drinks. I think it's worth asking.
All right, Marissa, what points you want to give out?
All right, so Dana's going to be a 7, Steven's going to be an 8, and then Matt, I'm going to give a 9 because I really like that story.
All right. Next topic, looking like the buying spike and shortages from last spring at the first COVID surge has some grocery store chains bringing back limits on purchasing certain items like Toilet paper.
As COVID spikes and some states reimpose restrictions, Kroger tells USA Today they have proactively and temporarily set purchase limits to 2 per customer on items including toilet paper, paper towels, disinfecting wipes, and hand soap. The limits apply to both in-store and online orders. H-E-B, Giant, Wegmans telling the news outlet they are also imposing similar buying limits.
That's ABC's Chuck Sievertson. So, Steven, have you thought of stocking up on anything? 30 seconds.
I haven't thought of stocking up on anything, mostly because I just simply refuse to panic. I'm going to keep my head up. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to buy the toilet paper that I need at the time that I need it and not stock up on stuff that I don't need. We are all in this together. We keep hearing that all the time. If we're all in this together, I can't be the one with all the toilet paper. We've got to just take what we need and not take what everybody else needs. That's how we solve this type of problem.
Matt, 30 seconds.
I mean, having witnessed it firsthand in New York City, where the nucleus of this pandemic really started, people were quick to hoard on items. In fact, I mean, you can go to the street corner over here close to where I'm living, and somebody's selling you a bottle of Lysol for about $20 just to try and, get some kind of profit off this whole situation. The reality is we do need to be looking out for one another. I am guilty of going into the aisles and maybe looking for one product that I already have something of. It's just instinctual, but the fact of the matter is we need to be more concerned about everybody else right now to get through this time.
Dana, 30 seconds.
So I actually always buy more than necessary because I'm busy and I've got a lot of work to do, So what I did, instead of hoarding it, when other people were running out at the radio station, we asked our listeners to come in, and I was giving toilet paper out because I agree with everybody on this panel. You can't hoard. If you have extra, you give out. I have not thought about buying more since I've had enough. I think it's all about sharing and caring for one another. And I don't understand the toilet paper and paper towel shortage in the first place. There's wipes too, people.
All right, Marissa, what points you want to give out?
Stephen, I'm going to give an 8. Matt's going to get a 6, and Dana is a 9 because I really agree with that because I really hated not being able to find toilet paper. That really was not fun. It was horrible for no reason.
Next topic, how women and men use dating apps depends on their mood?
Researchers at Ryerson University in Toronto found ladies tend to engage more on apps like Tinder and Match when they're feeling depressed or have social anxiety. They look for connection by dating online. For guys, it's the opposite. They don't swipe right when feeling down, and they're less inclined to make the first move with matches. Jennifer Brown, CBS News.
So, Matt, do you think this research from the land to the north is accurate? 30 seconds.
I think so. I think that the reality is, unfortunately, we put ourselves in circumstances where you feel lesser than, and that's what makes you think like I need just some kind of return of that emotion, making somebody make me feel good for whatever, albeit amount of time it is on those apps. I think people end up putting themselves in bad positions that way because they're not thinking it through in that mindset. There's a lot of anxiety going into those apps. There's a lot of anxiety in the dating world right now. The reality is you got to love yourself before anybody else can love you. And until you do that, I suggest staying off the apps altogether.
Dana, what say you? 30 seconds.
This is totally opposite. One of my good girlfriends just got out of a serious relationship, and instead of staying home and being depressed, we all encouraged her to get online and have some fun. Going out doesn't mean dating, okay? It could mean that you could meet a really good friend, meeting up for coffee, social distancing, okay, and you're wearing your mask and you're maintaining the 6 feet. Could mean a new fun person in your life. It doesn't mean desperation when a woman gets online. It means that she does feel confident enough in herself to swipe right and maybe find her forever best friend.
All right, Steven, 30 seconds.
I think this makes perfect sense from a guy's perspective. If you're going to try and go and hit on someone that you've never known before, you're going to, try and swipe right. You need some confidence, some self-confidence to be doing that. When guys are feeling down about themselves, their self-confidence is down. This makes sense. I also think that initially women are looking for more of a connection than a lot of guys are. And so this makes sense to me too. If you're not feeling well about where you are, you seek out connections. That's a good thing. It's a positive way of dealing with not feeling down. You're looking for people that are fun to be around.
All right, Marissa, what points are you giving out?
I'm giving Matt and Dana both are getting 9s, and then Steven's going to get a 7.
All right, next topic. Britney Spears loses in the latest round to remove her father from control of her estate.
Britney Spears' father, Jamie, will remain as co-conservator of her estate. That ruling from a judge who decided not to suspend Jamie's control, which he's had since Britney's 2008 mental health issues. Britney's lawyer said in court that the 38-year-old singer is afraid of her father, the two don't talk anymore, and that she won't perform as long as her dad is in charge of her career. The ongoing legal battle has sparked the hashtag Free Britney movement among fans who feel that the pop star is trapped by her conservatorship. Jason Nathanson, ABC News. Hollywood.
So if Britney Spears were free, so to speak, would you, and she were to put out some new stuff, would you listen to that? Dana, 30 seconds.
I am not going to lie. I am a Britney Spears fan. I am not a knowledgeable person when it comes to her music. When it comes to her as a human being, though, I think that she's hurting. You know, we've seen her go through this. I think the entire country remembers when she shaved her head. I think her dad loves her and he wants the best for her. And he's done the best he can. And too often we see these celebrities with not enough people around them who truly love them to say no. And love them enough to say no. And that's what her dad is doing. That's what he's saying. So maybe I would buy the album if he continues a conservatorship.
All right, Steven, 30 seconds.
Absolutely, I'd give the new music from Britney Spears a listen. There's a lot of beautiful music, a lot of powerful music that's come from places of pain. And I think it is clear that Britney Spears has been in a place of pain. I also think it's got to be incredibly difficult for her to go through life with us knowing as much about her mental health as we do. So I would imagine that could make some really amazing music if it's given the opportunity.
And Matt, 30 seconds.
You know, I think the sad reality is a lot of people try to make a meme and a hashtag out of the situation with Free Britney. And there's the same people that go on social media and make fun of her if she posts a video and she appears to be a little unstable or out of it in the moment. The fact of the matter is this girl has been through hell and back, and it's all happened in front of the public eye. The shaved head with the umbrella smashing it into the car. Everybody remembers that. And the downfall of Britney, the VMAs performance where she was stumbling through. You know, it's all those negatives that we all know about. And I think that also harps on all of this. I really hope that she gets the help that she needs. And I do think she should stay under the conservatorship.
Marissa, points.
Yes. Dana gets an 8. Steven's going to be a 9. And Matt's getting a 6.
All right, next topic. A new economic research report is proposing a work-from-home privilege tax for those who choose not to go back to the office when government restrictions are lifted.
A new report by Deutsche Bank proposes that people who choose to work from home pay a 5% tax to help subsidize lower earners who don't have that option. The report, focusing on economic rebuilding after the pandemic, suggests, among other measures to save democratic capitalism, that remote workers save up on transportation, food, and wardrobe costs and wouldn't be any worse off if they paid a small tax. It also suggests if the employer doesn't provide a permanent desk, then they should carry that burden. Lilia Luciano, CBS News.
So, work from home privilege tax, in the context of the story being that your employer would just pay you less to work from home. Do you think that's fair? Steven, 30 seconds.
Absolutely not. It's not fair that you would get paid less for the same amount of work simply because you're saving the employer money on their rent by your working from home. The other thing is that sometimes this isn't a privilege. There are a lot of single moms that are having to work from home right now because their kids can't go to school. Their kids are having to do distance learning. They're having to work from home so that they can still be good mothers. And we're going to tax them. We're going to punish them for that. Absolutely not. This is not fair. This is not right. It should be based on the output, not the input.
Matt, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's sad that anybody would even think that this is a good idea in any way. The fact of the matter is everything still costs the same. Yes, you may not have to commute anymore, so it's saving you on your gas or it's saving you on your train commute, whatever the heck it may be. The fact of the matter is people are still relying on that cash more than ever right now because you know what? There's a lot of people who have family members that are still out of work, so maybe they're not getting another source of income that's coming in. We don't have a stimulus bill going on right now through Congress, which is getting delayed time and time again. So there's a need for that extra income wherever, any way it comes, even if it's just the income you're already making. Every cent counts.
Dana, 30 seconds.
So I think that this is such a complicated question with a difficult answer. It can be fair if the employer themselves are experiencing strain when it comes to business. We've seen it in radio. We see it in every industry across the country. I understand that we want the same pay, but sometimes you have to pull together as well so that everybody keeps their job. These are very difficult times, and that does sometimes call for difficult answers. Like I said, I am for the employee and for the employee. Pulling together can work.
Marissa, points.
Steven's getting a 9. Matt is an 8, and then Dana is going to be a 6.
All right. Well, coming up, our debaters have been scheming all week on ways to get more points from the judge with a really good argument. See what they come up with next on Master Debaters from KTSA.
This is Master Debaters from 550 KTSA and FM 1071.
I'm Dennis Foley. Joining us this week is Matt Napolitano from Fox News Radio, Dana Cortez from The Dana Cortez Show, and Stephen Parr from American Ground Radio, who are all working to coerce our judge Marissa to give them more points than their fellow competitors. So let's keep this debate going.
State your case on Master Debaters.
So before the show, our 3 verbal fighters came in with a topic they wanted to debate. They will get 90 seconds to do so. While that argument is being presented, the other combatants may choose to opt into the debate, noted by this pesky bell. Yeah. Once those 90 seconds are up, the combatants who opted in will get 45 seconds to present their arguments. The original presenter will get their own 45 seconds at the end to respond to the challenges. If contestants change their topic from what they had sent in, I will assess an automatic 5-point penalty. There are also now more points at play. Our judge can now give up to 20 points at the end of each topic, or she could take away up to 20 points from everyone, whether they challenge or choose to stay quiet. So right now we actually have a tie for the points lead. So we're going to have the person that's trailing right now go first, and that person is Dana. So your 90 seconds starts now.
Okay, so recently in Portland, we all know that drugs were decriminalized. So now when you hit the McDonald's in downtown PDX and you ask for the Travis Scott meal and a Coke, well, you just might get exactly that. Now, when I was researching for this debate, I found that half of all American adults admit to illegal drug use, which means the other half lied. And I'm willing to bet more than half this panel has partaken. Even your mom probably rolled up back in her day in college. Who knows? She might be playing, some puff pass right now while we're on this debate. I don't know. And I'm not going to judge her. And none of us really thinks that mom should be incarcerated. Plus, with opioids being overprescribed, that's a reality, which is leading to heroin addiction. This could actually assist people in coming out of the shadows and help them ask for the help they need. So instead of putting our parents in the slammer, let's allow anyone who wants to beat their addiction come forward. Oh, I forgot. And get the help they deserve. And we can also make some money off of responsible people who want to, partake in their adult party favors. And maybe we can pay off some of this debt, because we've never been in more debt. Again, responsible people, party favors, help those who really need help come out of the shadows and deal with addiction. This is a medical problem. Let's not treat them like criminals. And that's my argument right there. Just to let you know, I thought I had 60 seconds.
All right, a 45-second challenge from Matt.
While I do think it is a good step forward in terms of decriminalization, I do believe that you should be decriminalizing marijuana nationwide. I just think that when it comes to harder drugs, we do need to still hold a harsh microscope to that. That being said, I agree that with the situation that's going on in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's either you pay a $100 fine or are placed into a sort of court-ordered rehab type situation where you're able to get the help that you need. I do approve of that, but at the same time, we also need to take a harsh spotlight to the people that are still distributing these drugs within our communities, things like heroin, things like cocaine, things that are much harsher drugs that are really quite dangerous and put a lot of people at risk. When it comes to marijuana, I feel like at this point, most people are just like, water under the bridge, let's move on with our lives and make it legal everywhere. I mean, what, did Colorado turn like a $2 billion surplus as a result of legalizing it? So that's fine on my end.
Do I respond?
Steven, 45-second challenge.
There were several different states that legalized marijuana this year, and that's fine. That's not as big of a problem as what Oregon did. Legalizing those hard drugs makes life worse for drug users and non-drug users who live by. We've already seen the effects in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle. They're all seeing massive increases in homelessness. Every single one of those cities has a large homelessness problem, but they also have free needle distribution. Those two things aren't just correlation, it's cause and effect. Appeasing drug users hasn't worked. What we should be doing is what they're doing in Providence, Rhode Island. It's still illegal for those hard drugs, and when you're arrested, they put you into prison. They give you an opportunity to go through a medically assisted treatment. That's what we should be doing. That makes lives better.
All right, Dana, 45 seconds to respond to your challengers.
Okay, an analysis of marijuana use at arrests in 5 states that decriminalized marijuana saw no uptick at all. And Portugal tried something in 2001 that was considered very radical. They decriminalized all their drugs. Drug use is significantly down. And by the way, just to let you know, the cartel situation, it's not going away. We have the most insatiable appetite for illegal drugs. And until we fix that, Narcos is cool for Netflix, but it's not good for the streets. And the only way to do that is to legalize it and control it. And not only is drug use down in Portugal, so is HIV, which we know is, a lot of people get it through intravenous drug use. So I say we do something radical instead of the same old thing. The war on drugs is lost. It's over. Let's legalize.
All right, Marissa, it's time to deal out the points. What points you want to give out, everyone? From -20 to +20.
So I am going to give Dana I think I'm going to give her a 10 then. And then I'm going to give Matt, I'm going to say 13. And then Steven, I'm going to give a 16.
All right, Matt, your 90-second starts now.
Okay, so anybody who knows me knows that I'm a little bit of a Christmas Grinch. I don't like the way the holiday season gets rushed in. I think that people just are wanting to throw it right at you way too fast. You don't even get a second to really enjoy everything. That being said, I'm changing my mind this year. After everything that everybody has gone through nationwide, be it through the pandemic, be it through the racial strife, be it through everything that has torn us apart as a country, nothing unites us more than the holiday season. Nothing gets us more together to really want to share that camaraderie and that love for the holiday season. You know what? The time is now to throw up that Christmas tree, throw up your lights, throw up your wreath, do whatever you want to do for the holidays this year to make it a little bit brighter in your household or just a little bit brighter outside, to give somebody else a smile, because that is what's going to get us through another difficult time that's going on here as we see a rising second wave happening across this country. Honestly, do whatever you want to do. If you want to carve your turkey and hide Easter eggs, go for it. If you want to go trick-or-treating on New Year's Eve, be my guest. If you want to hand out candy hearts on St. Patrick's Day and puke up those candy hearts, I respect it. The time is now for people to just really enjoy themselves in any way possible. It has been a long 2020, so all bets are off on time. Time is not a construct anymore. I don't know what day of the week it is. I don't know what month it is. I'm very close to not knowing what year it is as a result of this pandemic and everybody staying inside. So if this is just going to bring you a little ray of light in your life to just put up your tree and start getting ready shopping for presents, I know family members of mine already have, then go for it.
Dana, 45-second challenge.
Okay, you know what year it is. It's 2020. It feels like an entire decade. And my husband, DJ Automatic, is with you. He's like, you know what, Dana, let's put the lights up. But you know what? There's a pandemic and he can't travel, which means half our income is gone. And that means no lights because the bill will go up. And I don't want to make my neighbors feel bad. Do you want to light shame people? Really? We're trying to save money. What happened to coming together like the toilet paper argument at the beginning of this conversation? Looks like you're all, about yourselves. This is about money and bills. Christmas is not a material thing. Jesus is the reason for the season. Have you not heard that? So why do you have to show off your material possessions when half the country is suffering? Maybe even more than half. Keep the lights down till December, at least, please.
All right, Steven, 45-second challenge.
I'm actually challenging in to support what Matt was saying. This year, one of the things that we've seen is an increase of deaths of despair. That's an increase in opioid use. That's an increase in suicides. It's because the lockdowns, which was the word of the year apparently, has affected our ability to pursue our happiness here as Americans. So I'm going to agree with Matt. If you want to pursue your happiness by putting up Christmas lights this year of all years, go out and do it. This is the time that as we all need to come together as family. That's a great way to do it. Let's start celebrating early. If that makes you feel better, if that helps you get through yet another day in the middle of this pandemic, then I'm all in favor of it. You take care of your mental health first.
All right, Matt, 45 seconds to respond to your challengers.
I will say I do understand the aspect of the economic difficulties of the situation. I do think that there's also that mental health nature and that assurance that people need. Truthfully, I think back to when I was a little kid, my uncle had passed away about 12 days before Christmas. And I remember driving home that night after the funeral and just seeing all the Christmas lights from down the street. It actually started snowing a little bit, like a flurry over here in New York City. And, it just was like that assurance that, we could still enjoy the season. It's the way my uncle would have wanted it for us. And we all just felt like this really great sense of warmth and this great sense of emotion that we really had just needed in that moment. And I hope that the holiday season, seeing those lights or seeing the tree, can provide that for people and make them just really give them something to look forward to and something to enjoy for once in this awful, awful year.
All right, Marissa, what points you want to give out?
And now I'm like, God, this is sad.
Fighting fire with fire.
So I really liked Dana's response. So Dana's getting a 20. Matt is getting a 10, and then Steven's going to get a 7.
All right, Steven, your 90-second argument starts now.
Healthcare is not a fundamental right. In the words of the Declaration of Independence, the Creator didn't give us a right to healthcare. We were given a right to pursue our own health. You can read in the second sentence of the Declaration of Independence that we weren't given a right to happiness. We were given a right to pursue happiness. Our pursuit of health works the same way. Here's how you know if something's a fundamental right that was granted by the Creator. First, it was given to you by the Creator, and then no person has to do anything for you to have it. You already have it. People can't give you fundamental rights. They can only try and take those rights away. Healthcare requires other people to do things for you. It requires doctors and nurses and hospital administrative staff. Second, if you have a fundamental right that was granted by the Creator, then you have that right from the moment you were created. Think about babies who have just been born. Are they happy? No. They're crying, they're screaming, they're telling everyone around that they're most certainly not happy, but that crying is actually a natural instinct they have to pursue their happiness. Those cries are also part of a baby's right to pursue health. Those first cries bring the gulps of oxygen into a baby's lungs. Here's why thinking about this shift is so important. Right now, we're asking our governments to do things they really can't do. They give us a right to health care. That's why every year costs go up and life expectancy is actually going down in America for the first time. And that started even before COVID. Just like governments can't give us happiness, they can't give us health. We have to pursue that. But what governments can do is to make our pursuit of health easier. But by making a better healthcare system in America, it all starts with understanding what our rights are and what our rights aren't.
All right, Dana, 45-second challenge.
Okay, so life expectancy is down, and I believe that is because healthcare has no competition. I grew up very humble beginnings, and the thing I used to do most when I was a single mom is pray to not get sick. A public option is a no-brainer. You know what the government, it's like our parents. They want us to be safe. We have the best military in the world. Parents want us to be educated. That's why we have public school. Guess what? If you're privileged, you get to go to private school. And you know what else our parents want? They want us to be healthy. The government should also help us be healthy. If we have a healthy society, we have a better America. Good health means a strong country. And nobody should have to know because they're poor, they have to die. That is not the America I grew up in.
Matt, 45-second challenge.
Now, it's sad to think that as we speak, the Affordable Care Act is actually being argued in the Supreme Court right now as to its legality. And we're in the middle of a pandemic. So you're going to be taking away insurance coverage from people when they need it at the absolute most, when they absolutely need that safety net is horrific to me. The reality is, yes, the ACA did not accomplish everything that it needed to. Do I think Medicare for all is the answer? No, I do think that there should be a public option that if people want to go into that, they absolutely should be able to go into it. But to suggest that everybody has to go through the same red tape system that we had to see for Medicare, that we have to see for the VA is a disaster. My poor grandfather used to wait in line from 6 a.m. for an appointment at 4.5 hours later past the time he was supposed to be due in. I don't want anybody else to be stuck in that same red tape system unless it's an absolute must for them where they need it and they try and get by the best way they can.
All right, Stephen, 45-second rebuttal.
A few years before Obamacare went into effect, the average American family was spending about 5.6% of their annual income on health insurance and healthcare expenses. By 2017, after Obamacare became the law of the land, those costs were up to about 8.5% of a family's average expenses. The reason is because government was trying to do something it's not designed to do. The second sentence of the Declaration of Independence says governments are instituted among men to secure our rights, not to create rights that we don't have. Health care itself is not a right because you would have to force people to do things that they don't want to do. This is why it's so important to pursue our health. Ben Franklin said, early to bed, early to rise makes one healthy, wealthy, and wise. He knew that our pursuit of health was up to us. When we change that thinking, we're going to end up with much better outcomes.
All right, Marissa, what'd you think about that lighthearted argument?
Okay, so I'm gonna give Stephen a 17. Matt's gonna get. What am I giving Matt? He's gonna get a 12, and Dana is gonna get an 11.
All right. Well, who will win? It comes down to one final fight. This is Master Debaters from KTSA.
From 550 KTSA and FM 1071, this is Master Debaters, the show where the best argument wins.
And that debate is going to end right here, and it ends right now. It's a battle this week between Matt Napolitano, Dana Cortez, and Stephen Parr to convince our judge Marissa that their argument is the best argument. But right now, it comes down to one final fight.
Closing arguments on Master Debaters.
It all comes down to this: a 5-minute fight to decide who is the Master Debater. I present a topic, and our 3 contestants will argue for a whole 5 minutes. No more, no less. So at the sound of the final buzzer, our judge will give each combatant up to 100 points, or can take away up to 100 points. The person with the fewest points right now will get a 15-second head start to start the argument. Everyone can then join in after the bell has rung, and right now the person with the fewest points is Matt. So, what do you guys think about birds? Just before we actually get into the topic, what do you think about birds? You like them?
Depends.
Okay.
I'm in favor of birds.
Okay. Dana, you like birds?
I mean, if I don't have to clean the crap out of the cage, I'm good.
Okay. Well, some British researchers discovered something that smells of Alfred Hitchcock.
In Hitchcock's The Birds, terrified schoolchildren flee a murderous avian attack. Well, guess what Bristol University's Anouk Spelt has learned about the local seagulls?
They know when are break times at specific schools.
And they perch outside ahead of time.
And the moment that the bell sounds and all the kids come out, they start flying around, searching for food scraps, and they know exactly when to hit.
The gulls know enough not to show up on weekends. What the researchers don't know is how on earth they know that. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
So, debaters, do you buy the whole thing that seagulls know our schedules? And if so, what animals do you think are studying and planning their days around us? 5-minute debate starts now. Matt gets a 15-second head start.
I mean, I'm convinced that seagulls and pigeons are just the epitome of everything that is wrong with society. I mean, living in New York City, I deal with the pigeons more firsthand than the former. But the fact of the matter is, it's just horrifying to think that these are just like scavenging and just ready to just pounce like right outside the school. I'd be terrified to send my child to that school. I think that's pretty alarmist. That being said, it's going to be interesting to see how a lot of pets adapt to the schedules once everybody starts going back to work and no longer doing the work from home thing. I know my dog, she's already as needy as can be, is already going to be not too fond of me leaving the household to go back to my place of employment. I'm definitely going to be coming home to a lot of piddles and a lot of other little messes and surprises left for me all over the place. But it's, oh God, I really do hate birds. I'll be honest. I am just not a bird person at all. Like I don't like anything. Like, to me, they're just rats with wings. It's just, I just don't care for them.
Can we jump in any time?
Well, yeah, the bell is wrong.
Clearly, the seagulls are a lot smarter than these children, and I think the parents should take them out of school. Because if the seagulls are aware of what the children are doing and the parents are questioning what's happening, then the seagulls are probably going to live a lot longer than humans. And what else? is looking at us, the cockroaches. Cockroaches have been here a very long time. I think seagulls, cockroaches, scorpions, possibly rats. I think you guys have mentioned the New York rat.
Oh.
I've seen the rat pizza guy, the rat pizza, your pizza rat. What's it called? Is it pizza rat?
Pizza rat. Pizza rat. Yeah.
Pizza rat.
I wouldn't buy
obviously
from Pizza
well,
Rat.
once again, I mean, that guy right there, he's his own meme. And I think that seagulls and rats are probably going to be crawling through our skulls when we are long gone. So I do believe that the seagulls are probably smart enough to realize what time these kids are coming out and steal their lunch. That's what they're doing. They're stealing
All
their
I'm picturing
food.
right now is a seagull like pecking at a French fry while pecking at my brain at the same time, and it's like a really horrifying image to me right now.
They don't have to peck at your brain. They just got to scare you enough to drop the French fry. That's how smart they are. They know exactly what level of confrontation they have to deal with. This is the easiest way to get into it.
Buy your kid an umbrella or something.
Or at least a hat.
Something. Come on.
Right.
Ridiculous.
With every effort going to ending bullying in schools, now the animals are becoming the bullies outside on the playground. Give me your lunch money. Give me your lunch. And
It's the law of the wild, man.
Teach these kids to stand up to the birds. What
teach
are
the
we?
seagulls to be best. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
really, exactly. What are we? Are we that afraid now that we can't even stand up to birds anymore? Come on. The
Maybe
birds
we
are
just
coming down. Get them an umbrella and tell them to not be afraid. They're birds.
the easy solution to this is to have the kids eat inside. The kids just eat lunch inside. Then you don't have the extra scraps outside for the birds to come and eat. There's a pretty simple solution to this. It's called indoor lunch, outdoors for recess. And then the birds, they get to go find their food somewhere else. But there's actually been a lot of stories during the lockdown of animals reacting to the way that humans have adjusted with our lockdown, with us not traveling as much. There have been stories about sea turtles. They've had record hatchings on beaches from sea turtles because people haven't been out on the beach.
I saw one of the biggest crocodiles I've ever seen in my life posted today. I mean,
the
this
one in
thing
Florida.
looked like a mini dinosaur. I've never seen anything bigger. And let me tell you, the longer we stay out, of their way, the bigger they're going to get. And I feel like I might be afraid to go outside. I might have to stay in lockdown.
Well, and I tell you, I'd much rather see I'd much rather see seagulls coming at me at recess than an alligator coming at me at recess. So I think as long as the alligator, I'm not so worried about when seagulls are trying to figure out how they can pick off our French fries. It's when alligators
is a sworn enemy of the alligator, so we'll be fine. The umbrella is a known enemy of the alligator.
Is that what it is? Is it the umbrella?
That works. Rihanna was onto something. She was telling us.
I'm going to send an umbrella down to Florida then and see how they fare. I'm not going for it. Let's see what they do. I've heard they're not very sharp down there anyway. So let's send a few of those that way and see if they can test a few of those umbrellas out for us before we take the challenge.
The animals are very smart. My dog has actually adapted to my change in schedule here with this whole COVID thing. He knows when I'm getting up, when I'm going to head out. He just knows the schedule, and it's different than it used to be. It didn't take him very long to adapt. He's actually starting to predict he's bringing me my keys. He knows it's time for me to drive the car off to the studio. He's ahead of me on some things.
I'm so happy that we're leaving now. We're back in studio. They can't wait. They couldn't stand us. I mean, they kept looking at us like, what the hell are you doing here? They needed their space. They needed their alone time, and maybe they were meeting up with the seagulls. I don't know.
On cahoots.
All right, Marissa, what scores you want to give out? You could give up to 100 points, or you could take away up to 100 points for everyone. Where do you want to start?
Well, I'm only giving points. I'm going to give Matt a 75. Dana's going to get an 85, and Steven is going to get an 80.
All right, let's. It's time for me to do some math, so let me work on the numbers for a second here.
As long as it's not quantum physics, it shouldn't take that long.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes these scores do end up becoming high-grade physics. Let's that there.
I got it. Communications majors, we weren't taught how to do math.
Yeah, no, that's one thing that they mandated it, but we don't pick up on everything. All right.
Talking to the microphone and just keep moving on.
So, after mere minutes of very, very serious debating, uncovering the dirt on the most controversial topics in our land right now, the time has come to name this week's master debater. In third place, with 164 points, is Matt. In second place, with 174 points. Steven, which means in first place with 175 points. This week's Master Debater is Dana. Congratulations. 60 seconds to celebrate being a Master Debater starts now.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank all the little people I had to step on to get here. You know, it took me 4 weeks to make this date. I mean, Dennis and I have been going back and forth. So Dennis, first and foremost, thank you for your patience and your kindness. Marissa, thank you for your sisterhood.
You're welcome.
And to my husband, who won this master debate about a month ago, suck it, because he said I was going to lose. And so on that note, I would like to thank all of you and hope that we can remain friends, because although this was a debate, I feel like I've got, you know what, you're my extended family. So thank you so much for your kindness and allowing me on this program, because really I had the best time and I didn't have anything else to do tonight. So thank you very much.
It was a pleasure, a great honor. Better woman won, that's for sure.
Hey, you guys, I want to follow you all on social media.
All right, well, that's it. Big thanks to our 3 contestants. Matt Napolitano, who you could hear on Fox News headlines 24/7 on SiriusXM channel 115. Dana Cortez, our master debater, who can be heard on the Dana Cortez Show on stations all across the country, including Energy 94.1 in San Antonio. And Stephen Parr, who could be heard each weeknight on American Ground Radio on News Radio 710 Keel in Shreveport. And a big thanks to our judge, Marissa, from Long Island, New York. Master Debaters is a production of XS Studios and KTSA San Antonio. Learn more about Master Debaters online at ktsa.com/masterdebaters and at xcsfm.com. I'm Dennis Foley. This has been Master Debaters, the show where the best argument wins.
San Antonio's home for news and talk. On air, online, and on demand. 550 KTSA and FM 1071.